Hey, what's going on, Grilla Girls Nation? How's everybody doing out there? Chef Drew back at you. And today we're continuing on with our Christmas Around the World series. This is probably going to be my favorite, simply because it's so simple, yet so delicious, everyone. Today we're going to be doing some grilled prawns, Australian style, going to the land down under. And I was doing so much research on this, and I swear it's all about the barbecue there, which got me so excited. I researched tons of countries, guys, tons of countries. We're going to be doing 8 in this series. But I was like, oh man, this is so simple and so cool. I had so many options to choose from, but I've had to include these guys just because of how much fun this is going to be. Speaking of holiday traditions, we say it every time, guys, in the comments, continue to let us know what you guys do for your family Christmases. Even Thanksgiving's cool, whatever. What you guys do around the holidays, even New Year's, doesn't matter, okay? Send us those in the comments. Send us recipes or just fun things that you guys love to do. We're always interested. We think it's super cool, and that's just part of what it's like to be, you know, kind of sharing in this Grilla family that we have here. All right, so without further ado, we're going to be doing some grilled prawns today. Super, super simple. Nothing but some oil, salt, and pepper. Grill for about 3-4 minutes. These bad boys are ready to go. Also, we're going to be doing some mango daiquiris, okay? It's going to be delicious, frozen style. Typical Grilla Grills Nation style too, guys. No measurements. We're going to dunk these bad boys into the blender and have a great time, okay? So let's get this thing done and let's get started, and we can talk more about what I learned about the Australian culture while these bad boys are grilling off. So these aren't exactly prawns. They're the biggest I could find here in Michigan this time of year, so bear with me, okay?
I think hand-sized shrimp is okay.
Right. I think we're good for reference, everyone. All right. Boom. All right. So what I'm going to do, guys, super simple. Just a little bit of oil here as a binder. Again, guys, just vegetable oil because it's going to be going on a hot grill. The primate, as we all know, gets ripping hot. So we're going to do here a little bit of kosher salt, okay? A little bit of black pepper. And I'm just going to get in there and kind of toss all this around. All right? Just for a nice even coat. And maybe just a little bit more, believe it or not. And guys, so I was learning, as I was kind of doing the research, these guys are cool. Like, you can totally eat this cold. You can totally eat it hot. I think it's pretty sweet. Today, obviously, we're going to be grilling them off and setting them out so you eat them hot. You can have sauce. You can have no sauce. It's all about the barbecue, though. And prawns, this time of year in Australia, I think it was something like they eat more in a single holiday season than the rest of the world does, just in general. So when we picked this dish out for this country, I think we pretty much hit the nail on the head. So let's jump over here. One thing I was told, and I was totally going to say it before I started putting these on here, was do not say shrimp on the Barbie. Do not do it. Like, you American clowns, like, there's no such thing that says that. Just because Crocodile D says it doesn't make it cool. Just because Jim Carrey says it doesn't make it cool. There's no shrimp on the Barbie. You're just grilling prawns, people. All right? So there's that. I also learned, and what I love about this, guys, too, kind of side check, is that everybody in Australia loves to get absolutely, what's the word here? Oh yeah, hammered on Christmas Eve. I thought that was cool because I personally like to indulge a little bit on Christmas Eve myself.
It's kind of like the day before Thanksgiving here is the biggest bar day of the year.
Yes, absolutely. And they had a big, well, you know what Boxer's Day is by chance?
Is it like what happens after you have a really rough night and you wake up on the lawn in your boxers?
I guess it's so. But whatever Boxer's Day is, they have a huge party there too. Also, from what I understand after doing the research, grilling out outside festivities, super, super cool. And even though it's super ripping hot down there, these guys don't care. Like I said, they have fake snow and the Christmas trees, big parades. They love hanging out with family, and they especially love grilling. Everything comes down to the barbecue. All the street festivals, everything that's going on, guys. You're not be remiss to tell you if it's only prawns or shrimp. These guys are grilling everything. Prawns just happen to kind of take the cake on Christmas because it is special. It is a luxury item. They're not cheap, but these guys do not joke around. They go to the beach, they eat prawns, and they drink frozen cocktails.
It might be good to tell people, like, their climate is different than ours in winter. So, like, winter here is summer there.
100%. So when I say ripping hot, it is ripping hot. I mean, like 90 to 100 degree weather. But even, I think that's what's so cool about it. These guys even go out and have like Christmas tree decorating competitions in their yard, similar to how we do here in the States. Look at that. And how easy is this too? I just thought it was super, super cool. And Australians are always known, and I've never been to Australia personally, but I did just by proxy living in New York, because New York is just that way. You get to meet a lot of people from Australia, both visiting and guys and gals who live there. And they were always super cool, always fun to hang out with, always fun to have drinks with. And most importantly, at least for what I do for a living, they're awesome eaters. These guys will try and eat anything. So I think it's really cool that on Christmas Day, they hang out, or Christmas Eve, or whenever it may be over the course of the season, they hang out and they grill everything from standard beef to prawns. They even do like more kind of your obscure stuff, like kind of organ meat and that type of stuff. But we'll leave that for another day. We want to kind of stick with something like this today, but how cool is that? All right, guys, let's give these one more turn. And guys, all we're looking for here is the color and the curl of the tail, okay? That is all we're looking for.
That's new to me. I've never heard about the curl of the tail.
Yep, so this guy is getting close. As you can see, we start out pretty much like this, okay, as we can see. All right, but the longer these things grill, the more they kind of curl up on you. And when they're almost touching, this one's almost there, we gotta yank them. And guys, we are not looking for these guys to be cooked straight through whatsoever or at all. It is fine to have a little bit of pink left in there. In fact, that's what we want. Have it nice and moist, boom, boom, okay? You can also tell by looking here, all right? Look at this one that's essentially almost raw yet, not quite catching enough heat. And look at this one that's almost done. We see the difference there? See, as the white's kind of creeping in toward the center vein, whereas this one is completely pink all the way through. We're looking for that white to kind of touch right here, right in the middle, kind of literally cooking even on both sides. Perfect curl of the tail. And remember, guys, that when we're cooking prawns or any kind of shrimp, it's just like anything else. When we pull it off this heat, it's going to continue to cook. So when we pull it a little bit underdone, knowing that it's going to continue to keep doing its thing, it's going to rest out just like a piece of beef would, or a piece of pork would, or anything else, okay? The only difference in the rest with a piece of seafood like this, we're not going to get that kind of bleed out that we get on a piece of meat. But guys, it doesn't matter. It's still resting. It's still cooking internally for at least another 5 minutes after we pull it off the grill. So just keep that in mind. That being said, this guy is essentially done. And that's what we're looking for, okay? That nice curl, not completely cooked all the way through, but it will be by the time it rests out, ready to rock and roll. So let's put him over here for now. I'll keep monitoring this stuff, guys. Not to worry, it's Grilla Grills. We're not going to burn anything. All right, promise you that. Got to do a little click. All right, let's get started with some mango daiquiris, okay? Now we're just going to kind of free pour this guy, okay?
Australian style.
Australian style, Aussie style. All right, you guys are cool as heck by there, all you Aussies watching. I've had nothing but good times with you guys. I won't share all of them because there have been a few bars involved, but when I was in New York especially, met a lot of you great people. All right, guys, so we're going to start out with some white rum. In this case, it's just going to be Bacardi. Mark is around here somewhere, so we got to include him in the mix. What do you say we just kill it?
I mean, why wouldn't you?
It's Christmas, man. Happy holidays, everybody. Boom. Get out of here. All right, we got a couple more here that are wrapping up. That guy's done. See,
so what made you go with the mango on this?
You know, I think that's a great question. I just figured, you know, being down in that kind of environment, you're probably going to have a lot of great tropical fruits hanging around. So I was like, you know what, let's just throw some mango into it instead of just making a regular daiquiri. All right, so we have gosh knows how much Bacardi in here, about a third of a bottle. We're going to call it a third. All right, guys, you can use fresh mango. In this case, I'm going to use a little bit of mango puree, okay? And we don't want to go overboard here because this stuff can be sweet, all right? We're going to put in a little bit of lime juice because we want to make sure that we bring some of those flavors to the top and counteract the sweetness of the daiquiri itself, because the rum is sweet, this puree is sweet, we need a little bit of acid to counter that. But we also need a little simple syrup, believe it or not, just natural simple syrup to help bring all those flavors and that flavor profile up to the top, okay?
What do you mean when you say bring it to the top?
So literally, when we bring it to the top, we want to take this, and salt does the same thing. Kind of interesting question. So salt and sugar both act as their own independent kind of flavor, okay? You definitely know when something's salty. You definitely know when something's sweet. But if you notice, there's not like, salt is universal, like either something salty or it's not, something sweet or it's not, meaning, you know, certain types of fish have their own flavor, right? Well, not in this case. Salt is salt, sugar is sugar. In its natural state, what it does, if you add too much, you can really taste it. If you don't add too much, the appropriate amount, what it does is bring and enhance all the flavors in what you're making up to the top. Makes it congruent through the dish, whether it's a drink or whether it's a piece of food. Again, that's why salt is so important, and that's why if you ever salt something, it tastes salty. You're no longer tasting what you're cooking or what you're mixing, you're just tasting salt. So that's what I mean by bringing everything up.
Got it.
All right, guys, a little bit of this in here to the top. Boom, boom, boom. Pretty sure I can turn around here. And this is kind of cool, man. It's kind of like back and forth, right? So we can sit here and talk, we can make drinks. I can pull these shrimp that are ready to go, excuse me, these prawns that are ready to go off the grill here.
Well, I mean, this is how it would be going if you were actually doing this right now. You'd be hanging out, pulling a couple shrimp off the grill, making the drink in the meantime. You're going back and forth. You don't just sit there and stand in one place the entire time.
It's the ultimate, like, entertaining kind of thing. I could totally see how this would work because it's just interchangeable. So we have our drink ready to go. It's built in here. Top everything off with some ice, guys. There we go. All right. Let's see where we're at. Go. Hit this blender on high. All right. So we don't want huge chunks of ice in there. That's no fun. We also want this to be, you ever had like a perfect frozen margarita like at one of your favorite restaurants?
Yeah, there's like no grit to it.
There's no grit to it, but yet it's still definitely a frozen drink, right? Mm-hmm. It's got the ice in it, it's got the nice coolness to it, but no huge chunks of ice. It's well blended. That's what we're looking for here. And you can totally see this when we pour it, just like so.
Can you overblend it?
You can overblend it, most definitely. You can overblend it to the point that you get the heat off the motor that starts to melt the ice. So you need to stop while you're ahead. If you think you got it, you probably do.
Okay.
All right. And then one for Mark, wherever Mark may be.
He hears rum and usually he appears.
I know, he'll probably just come out of the woodwork here. All right, guys, speaking of which, as we're making and finishing the drinks, these last three are ready to come off, perfectly cooked.
The Colossus one's over there.
Look at that, boom. Again, just a little under, the rest is gonna take it the rest of the way. All right, guys, so we have our prawns, perfectly cooked, nice color, everything's sealed up. Then we're gonna rest out to that nice, perfect texture that we want. We have our drinks in our solo cups in honor of the Australian street party barbecue style and tradition. I'm gonna save this for Mark wherever you are, bro. I gotta cheers you. Merry Christmas as always. Oh man, that's good. What I like about it is it's not overly sweet. It's got some tartness to it, but at the same time, it's not going to blow you out with the tartness as well.
So it's definitely different than a margarita, which is what I like about it.
Yeah,
it gives you a little something different, and it's going to mix with those shrimp real well.
100%. And one of those things that I really want to say, and then we got to get out of here, is that frozen drinks are not supposed to be overly sweet. You can definitely taste the lime in there. The sweetness is there. Again, that sugar brought the flavor profile way up, but it's still good to go. But enough of all that technical nonsense. This is Christmas time, and we're eating shrimp and we're drinking drinks, guys. Again, in the comment section, please, 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 let us know about your holiday traditions, family recipes, all the cool stuff that you guys do. We love to hear about it. We'll comment on it when we can. We love you guys on the smoke, and we'll see you for our next Christmas Around the World series pretty soon. Cheers, everybody.